Hi guys, Dallas here. So today I want to talk about communication or alternative forms of communication that you can use with your child. I want to preface this by saying this is coming from an occupational therapist perspective. This is not my area of expertise. These are just my opinions and thoughts. They are just what I have formed over the years, and they are not hard and fast. I definitely feel like over the years I change my thoughts and I come back and forth and back and forth. So it's a fluid thing. So again, take what you want and leave the rest. I am not a speech therapist. But I do get a lot of questions, and I do work with between 50 and 70 kids. It fluctuates that are minimally to nonverbal. And so I do feel like I have some thoughts that might be helpful. So the first thing you want to do if you're just starting out in the realm of autism and you haven't had a ton of therapies or a ton of people helping you navigate your way through the world, but your child does have communication deficits, is you want to support them with visuals. And I'm not going to go fully into depth on this. Visuals are simple. They're just pictures. It could be an object. You can use your phone. I feel like the phone is the best tool that we have nowadays. Have them choose between things, have them point to it, give them pictures to choose from. And I know that some parents are like, well, they can just show me. Why do I have them choose on a picture? Well, because it's a form of communication outside of pointing. And if someone doesn't know your child, is there pointing or is there grunts or is, you know your child, so you kind of know what they want, but only through a limited means. I kind of know, but they could want something random one day and you're not able to know because maybe it's not accessible at the time. Maybe it's behind a cabinet that he doesn't know where it's at, but he really wants it and he's upset. So really implementing pictures is like a really helpful intervention. It's kind of where you start, and you can do that for things that they might want. And you always want to start with like something that's super motivating for them to kind of help them learn. But again, that's probably going to be a different video just because it's a longer video. And then you can also do it to support behaviors. So stop, have a big stop sign, or walking feet, or nice hands. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, start with visuals. Visuals are super important. Some people go into sign language, and that's a hot area, and I definitely encourage it if you know it. There's lots of videos. Kiddos with autism tend to really love videos that are repetitive and have music to them. So there are a lot of videos out there that are kind of geared towards that. And if you play it for them every day, a lot of times they pick up those signs very well. And so you can pick up and you know what they want. So that's really helpful. But some people want to stop there. And I am not a huge fan of sign language. Like, I am, so don't get me wrong. Like, I think it's an important means of communication, but I don't want you to stop there, because the thing is, people around you don't know sign all the time. And so really that's for you and your child who've ever learned those signs. Maybe their preschool teacher and stuff, but they can't communicate their wants and needs outside of whoever knows those signs and how they put their spin on those signs too. Because for me, I don't know signs very well, and the ones I do know, they need to be pretty precise for me to understand what you're asking for, or I need to be very familiar with you. So that's my caveat with sign language. The next area is communication devices, which usually looks like an iPad or your phone, and it has an app on there, and those apps are pretty expensive. Touch Chat, but they're helpful. Touch Chat, Nova Chat, I can't think. Lamp is another one. There's more out there. Definitely not my area of expertise. You would need to communicate with a speech therapist, but a lot of parents I hear when I sit in meetings want to shy away from a communication device because they feel like it's going to make their child lazy and not want to speak. When I have found that to be the opposite, and again, not a speech therapist, but I have found that when they have that communication device, it just opens their world up, especially if they start picking it up pretty quickly, that they can communicate everything with you. Like, if they're with it enough and they're motivated, they can start picking things up really quickly, which, oh my gosh, it just enhances their communication so much more. Definitely non-verbally, but verbally as well. I see them, it has that output. A lot of the communication devices have that verbal output. So you push Apple and it says Apple. So they start hearing it all the time and associating it with what they want, because they know that that means apple. There's a picture of an apple. I push apple, it says apple. So it's constant, like, repetitive saying those things over and over again, which is super helpful to get verbal output, but it also like really enhances their behavior, because now someone understands what I want. I don't just have to point or grab or throw a tantrum or whatever. It is someone gets what I want, and I can have that and I can access that. And so it really cuts down on behaviors. Academics improve significantly. So I highly encourage it. I know, not that I have a child of my own with autism, but I've sat in so many meetings where that has been the issue for parents, is that I don't want them to be lazy, but it doesn't tend to be the case. I tend to see more communication as soon as it takes them a minute to grasp it, and as soon as they do, it's just like phenomenal a lot of times. I mean, everybody's different, but I would highly encourage you to seek those options if you haven't yet and you have a child who is nonverbal or minimally verbal. And some parents say, hey, my kid can speak, but they're just echoing. And so this helps with like novel thought. And I don't want to go into too much because obviously not my area of expertise, but I do run into this in meetings all the time. And so I thought I would address it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Have a great day.